Doing my little show prep here, and in between we start talking, I realize how many times I have had a plumbing problem. It's got to be like one every 3 years. You need an expert, everybody. We just got another expert in the building right here. This one's specific to plumbing. Stay tuned for this one, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to the Your Little Castle Show. Yours truly, the Cardinal Cowboy. There we go. We got our guest here. But tell me, when you have had a house, it is inevitable, especially when you own some properties. We got a couple properties Dad grew up in, decided to keep them, and plumbing. I'm looking at all the problems we've had historically. Water is just notorious. It's going to cause problems because the way it goes. Electricity is the other big one, but water just electrical problems. I don't know. I've had a few of those too, but the plumbing ones, they get you because water just electrical. It's either connected or not connected. You can connect it to the wrong thing, but water just goes, right?
Right, exactly.
There's nothing stopping that
and
if
once
you got a
it
leak.
starts leaking, it starts leaking. So it's.
Yeah, and we talked about what's the biggest problem that most people have, or the biggest mistake people make with regard to their plumbing issues. And you said it's most of the times because they're trying to do it themselves. The classic do-it-yourself or DIY.
Yeah.
What's the biggest problem with that?
Installing it incorrectly. Especially water heaters. We go behind more water heaters that are just not installed correctly. I mean, you're hooking up the water, you're hooking up gas, you have the flue. So if you don't install the water heater correctly, you could be having gas leaks. You could have carbon monoxide leaks and on top of the water leaks. So a lot of times people install the water heater and they think that, just because, like I said, the hardware store sells it doesn't mean it's code and it's correct. If you don't have the proper flow or rise on your flue, it's not going to carry the carbon monoxide out properly, and that can cause problems. It also can cause the water heater to fail prematurely because it's not installed correctly. And if it's not installed correctly and you have a problem with the water heater, the warranty company comes out, they're going to void your warranty. So you tried saving yourself, you just spent, $500 to $1,000 on the tank, tried to save a few bucks to install it yourself. Well, you just voided your warranty, and now you got to start the process all over again because it wasn't done correctly.
That's what we talk about, the classic do-it-yourself. Right? I'm a big advocate for those little things you can do. Now I don't even cut my own grass. Everybody know why? Because I hired a robot. That was a lot of work. We got to figure out the sensor, and it was going down the hill. And they said, "Oh yeah, plug it in. Why don't you?" Anyway, but yeah, these days robots aren't setting up. They're not to the point yet where they're doing the plumbing for you yet. Maybe someday down the road, but it's kind of digits you got to use there because the knowledge you're talking about. When you talked about a water heater, I'm like, just plug it in. You got heat.
Right.
Oh wait, that's coming from the gas. Oh, then you got the flue. Wow, there's a lot that goes into just some of the.
And even with the electric, you need to make sure that it's wired correctly, correctly, and that you have the appropriate gauged wire on the water heater, and of course the elements. And a lot of people, when they put them in, they do what they call a dry fire. They turn it on immediately. They didn't fill the water heater up. Well, you just blew the elements in the brand new water heater because you didn't get all the air out of the tank and everything. So there's a lot that goes into just making sure it's done correctly. So.
Pay the experts to do this, and these are little problems that we don't encourage people to try to find these kinds of problems. But when you've got a problem, make sure you're calling. And I'm thinking about it. There's a couple little things. I did install the dishwasher. Maybe that's why it's not working. Could be. I did install my sink. It didn't. It's got a little flow issue. But everything else, I hired somebody. They're all working properly. It's worth it.
Absolutely, yeah. And what a lot of people do when you talk about the kitchen sink, just because you have a garbage disposal, don't put stuff. Nothing should go down that garbage disposal. Scrape everything into your trash. A garbage disposal is there for just like the little remnants on there, but you should not be sticking, like Grandma used to put the coffee grounds and the lemon peels and everything. They're not made for that. That's hard on not only is it hard on the garbage disposal, but it's hard on your pipes. It's hard on your sewer system, and it's going to cause sewer backups. It's going to cause the smells. It's going to cause, your plumbing to fail.
What about eggshells from boiled eggs?
Never.
Never even eggshells.
No, nothing should go down your garbage disposal. I mean, you can put you scrape your plates into the trash, and the little bit that's left over there.
Okay.
Grease, never ever grease. People Because if you think about it,
Water,
when
grease, some.
you put the water, like take some water and then put some, hot oil on top of it, and with the way it separates, well, eventually it's going to coagulate, and that's what's going on inside your pipes.
Right.
So that's going to end up causing backups. It's going to cause them to prematurely fail, and then it's going to end up causing where you're either going to have it cleaned or snaked, or you're going to have to replace it because it's, you caused it to fail.
Yeah, think about that one, because grease and oil, they don't mix with water, so
Right.
then you've got that loop that keeps the
Yeah.
bad smell from coming up. So the water, it'll just coagulate the bottom down there,
Right.
and then eventually it'll pile up, and water's not going to push it out.
Exactly. It's going to just end up, the grease is going to just get in there and congeal, and it's going to end up causing a backup, or it's going to clog it.
And then you end up trying to, you're bringing an expert again, to snake it out. I've used, my dad had one of those.
Yeah.
You push it in this long metal thing.
Yep. And people try to do the drain cleaning themselves, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna cause leaks, because if you put the snake in there incorrectly, you're hitting those fittings. You're gonna cause them to leak. You're gonna cause them to. So there's a certain way you have to do it. So you want to make sure, again, you're using a licensed professional, even to do the drain cleaning, especially on the drain cleaning, to where they know what they're doing. They know how to put the snake in there. They know how to use it. So they're not damaging your pipes.
Stick to what you know, everybody. Let the experts do what they do. So that's important. That talks about a lot there. But tell me, residential, commercial, is it? What percentage would you say do you do both, or I guess commercial could be?
We're mainly residential. We are starting to work into commercial work, but I'd say probably 75% residential.
Okay.
And we're about 25% commercial. We're building our commercial team now, and we do like I said, the new construction. So that's a different side. So.
Right. And commercial is a lot of fun, but a little different process there, because you're dealing with the
yeah.
big corporate guys, and you got to
Right.
get the approvals and the plans and everything outlined. Is it mostly construction, or what is it you do most on the commercial side?
Commercial side, it's making sure like urinals, the toilets, the flush valves,
Okay.
the water and drain lines, and you just want to make sure that obviously that they're in correctly and that it's flowing properly, and that you're putting in the right fixture for what you need it for.
So young lady knows what she's talking about there. The urinal, a lot of technical words. You read flush lines. I mean, somebody's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been around plumbing for a little bit. I never heard flush lines. I guess I'm not in. That's not what I do. But
Well, it'd be the flush valves. Sorry.
flush valves.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what. Yeah. It goes to show how much I don't know. But yeah, these are things that you get the experts, because. Then I'd like to throw back to on the residential side. What do you enjoy most about working with a homeowner? Is that a little more rewarding, or is it more fun, or what do you enjoy about?
I like talking to our customers. I like, making sure they're taken care of and helping them, getting it taken care of, and seeing something from the start to finish. We've had customers who've been with us for, since we started in 2001. We still have customers that use us for the last 24, 25 years. So that's kind of cool to see them. And then now they refer their family and their children to us. So it's just kind of nice to talk to the same people, and, they use us and they trust us to refer us to their family and friends, and, watch them go from one house to the next one, and we get to help them do that stuff.
There you go. Build up that client base, a history, and kind of just integral part of taking care of family to family to family.
Right.
And been doing this for so long. People, the average person, I guess, moves every 7 years, and somebody goes to the new house. They call you for that too, and then you get to help generation to generation as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Stay in the community, work in the community, and build those community relationships. Tell me a time, I can imagine you've been doing this for so long. Give me an example or two, a couple times, when somebody was in a tough situation, maybe another contractor didn't do their job, but you had to come in and really help somebody that was kind of left out on a limb.
Well, it's happened a few times where they've hired someone who was not licensed, or who was not able to do what they were told them they did it. Well, we had one that we did actually just last year. They paid someone almost $35,000 to redo their sewer in their backyard. They did not do it correctly. They backfilled it with sand, not dirt. And so unfortunately we had to go, and it backed up into their basement, caused just problem on top of problem. So we had to go back in and re-excavate and redo what they had just paid someone to do correctly. They didn't permit it. They didn't do anything correctly on it. So then we had to go in and unfortunately re-dig up this entire backyard and redo their entire sewer line that they just had paid, but that people didn't do it correctly.
35,000. Yeah, I wouldn't know what the difference is between sand or dirt and the different gravel, I guess sometimes. A French drain, I've heard that name. I'm not even sure what that is, but
French drain's more for like land. We don't really do a whole lot with French drains. That's more like on landscaping side that handles that kind of stuff. So
you're talking about backyard, but okay. So yeah, this was a big issue. 35 grand, and they had to start over and redo the whole thing.
Start over and
pull
redo it all.
everything out.
Yep.
because they didn't have an expert to do so they weren't even licensed. Who were the people that they brought? I don't name my name, of course, but it was just a handyman?
Well, they said that they were licensed. They said that they knew what they were doing. And, of course, the customer trusted them. And, unfortunately, they weren't.
That was not the truth.
Right. And, we had one in Winston that they did, that needed a water service. And a lot of times there's older trees that are in areas, and it's kind of weird, but trees are protected in some areas where, because they're older and you don't want to mess with, you need arborists. So we had to reroute a water service in order to protect the tree, and nobody wanted to mess with the tree because we didn't know how the roots and everything were going. So we had to reroute the water service to stay away from the tree in the tree route. So,
wow, this is the stuff you need. Again, we keep saying it, an expert to handle this kind of stuff, because who would have known how you reroute around the tree structure?
Right. So we just put in a new water service. So
a new water service. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the drain part for that end of it, or?
Well, the water service is what brings the water into the building.
Okay.
So we, like the one we did, the sewer repair, they paid us someone to redo their sewer line, which takes out the waste and the sewer and the toilets and all the drain stuff.
Right.
But on the other one, what actually brings the water into the building, they had a water leak and it had to be repaired. And unfortunately, like you said, with what yours was, the water, it was leaking at the water meter. It was on their side of the property, so they had to cover it. But we couldn't use the water line that was there because of how this tree was. There was just no way to get around it. And it would have cost them well over $100,000 just to try to get around this tree. So it was just cheaper to bring in a new service and, put in a new water line for them and a new water service.
You've got experts that can figure this stuff out. Water
Absolutely.
line. And that's really like you're going back to the water company and saying, I know you're coming in from over here, but we're going to reroute that and go this direction.
Yep.
And it's all because of the tree, and they didn't want to mess with they get in trouble for...
I don't know if there would have been so much getting in trouble with it, but it would have just been a lot to work around this 100-year-old tree. So the city didn't want to do it. We honestly didn't want to do it. So, because it would have been a lot of hand digging just to get around the tree and the tree roots. So it was just a better alternative for everyone to leave the tree and, destroy that water line and then just start from scratch and put in a new one. So.
Wow, okay. Tell me then, what's a big challenge you've personally dealt with in your business that helped you to grow when you were starting the company? Or give me a time, because a lot of people times the biggest lessons we learn are from challenges we've had and things that, but I can imagine there's a few times in your business's existence that you, well, we didn't realize that, but we figured it out, and it made you grow and become the experts that you are.
I don't really know one of those off the top of my hand. We've just always done it right the first time. So when they call in, we make sure we, take care of them right the first time. We do what they need to do. And
I guess one of the challenges might have been when your husband said, "We're growing. We need to do this ourselves."
Right.
So that was a big change.
Well, that was definitely a big change. We went, like I said, we found out we were pregnant with our second child. We got our planned second and our surprise third and one. So we just decided that we needed to do something with the business, and this was the best way we could keep me home with our kids, was to grow the business. So we started going that direction, and now we're having our children start to work with us, and we're building on our legacy. So we started the groundwork, and our boys will come in and take it to the next level. Yeah,
so often is the case. Change, diversity, or adversity, I guess you say, in life causes you to say, hey, let's think about this and set you on, and now your own company for 25 years.
Right.
And the kids come in and help you with everything too. Pretty exciting. All right, everybody, stay tuned. We've got another break here. We got another community piece we did here. Last one, a lot of fun we did there with our buddy Nino at the Cardinal game at Patios. This one was it's called Dementia Life. And they reached out to me and said, Cowboy, would you be our MC for this? So we'll give you a little bit tidbit here, but if you dealt with anybody knows anybody who's dealt with dementia, a little Alzheimer's, Lewy body, look that one up. It's called Lewy body. And it just affects a lot of people there. But take a look here at what we were talking about and some of the fun we got to do in the community.
Mr. Winsky. And I'm reading off a script because my wife says that I babble on too long. So, all right, but I am going to say something before I start reading, and that is this idea started like 8 weeks ago. Can I just get a round of applause for my team that did this?
There we go. All right. So
first, I'd like to introduce you to another man with a mission. This man brings smiles to everyone as he sets out to also make a community a better place. He supports charities like this, and I'm sure you all recognize this St. Louis icon, our MC for the night, the Cardinal Cowboy.
thank you, Tim. Gary putting together a heck of an event, man. I like the thinking Cowboys, right? I'm in the Midwest here, and a lot of times it's sports and fun stuff. But we got if you've got a cowboy hat on, wave at me over there. You got there we go. All right, so first off, we got to make sure everybody knows where the restrooms are. Go out the side doors across from the patio near the town. You can see those over there. How many people have already bought raffle tickets? Anybody? Well, get those raffle tickets and the 50-50 tickets and the cooler raffle tickets. All three of those are good, fun prizes to help raise money for a great cause. The silent auction and items are available. Have you guys seen some of the silent auction stuff? There they are on the wall over there. The blind bourbon tasting over there.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! Well, there you have it, everybody. Lots of fun stuff we get to do in the community, and it's just interesting. And then Jeannie and I got to talk a little bit about, we all go through tough hurdles in life, and so, gosh, there's so many people that get affected by those things. But if you know anybody, a loved one, hey, have them give me a call. I'll talk to them. That's what this Cardinal Cowboy thing is about, and what I overcame with my coma. And I got 6 kids that I've worked with now. 5 of them had comas. A couple of those kids, they said they were not going to make it. They were done. One had cancer, and I worked with them psychologically. They got them back, and now they're back on their own. One of them got 6 more years, and then he went to heaven. But shout out to Seth, and we got to see Mr. Stillman, owner of the Blues, and I got to say hi to him. He was greeting people at the front entrance for the Blues game, home opener, and I said, "Hey man, thanks for coming to that funeral." Our community, there's so many people here that do great things. With that, let's jump in here. We talked a little bit about technology, how technology has changed the world. I wrote the foreword here. They said, Carter, you ended up writing the first chapter for Magnetized Media. Willie's going to be in studio later today. He's one of the authors on here with Steve Kidd. But if you want to learn about how media has affected the world of media, it used to be yellow pages, print, and then pretty much all the big guys did television and all the radio and all that stuff. Now, if you're not doing social media, if you're not doing the stuff out there, you're going to get left behind. That's what our show was really all about. We get business owners come on here, we collaborate, create some content, and then a lot of them decide they want to use that and put it on their social media. We worked it out and make that easy for people because you've got to keep up these days. That's the way the world has gone. But with that being said, tell me, if you would, Jeannie, how has the world changed? You've been doing this for a long time. I won't say her age, but she must have started when she was 3 because she's been doing this for 25 years. Yeah. But how has the media changed the way the business works for you guys, or other technology changes?
When we started, I mean, there wasn't really the Facebooks and the Twitters and whatever, so it's kind of weird there. And we were papered. Now we are paperless. We do everything electronically. I get service requests by, social media, the request service tab on our thing, especially through Facebook. We do so much through Facebook, and it's just kind of crazy to me that, just the amount of people and the reach that Facebook and social media has helped grow our business and the connections we make off of there. So I would have never figured 25 years ago that most of my work could come through a platform that, just from people liking a post and sharing
running
a
it
post.
through your computer with shooting it, filming it with your phone. Right. I mean, people say, "How do I do this?" Get your phone out, right?
Right.
You got a phone. It's got a camera on it. Turn it on, point it at whoever, and start filming. But gosh, I've got 5 more testimonials I got to put up about people who say, "Garner, this was great. It worked out well. We got so much business from this." Will help a lot of businesses out there. So to get started with you, though, people, if they need to get information, just go to the website. You mentioned that before. I'll put the wide angle there because there's the Facebook and then there's the website. But I'll put on the wall for everybody to see here this request service right on the front of your page. Is that the easiest way for people? So I'll click that, let everybody see. You click request service, and it goes right here, pretty straightforward. Form submission, that'll go right into you guys, and it's all in your system. No paper necessary here, right?
No paper.
Fill out the form, and then you're going to call them back shortly, and they will, there's the same button up here, but you've got access for people to get to you. Fill that out, and then quickly they will have a call back from you. How long does it usually take you to get back to somebody?
It depends on when they send them. I mean, obviously, if you send it of an evening, it'll be the next morning. But I try to, we check our email periodically throughout the day, so hopefully within an hour or 2 we're getting those emails and getting them called. A lot of times with the number on the screen, you can text me and I can get back with you within minutes. So
put that number up on the screen for everybody.
You can call or text the 220 number, and the text I can get back almost instantly. So that's
314-220-6519. That's on authorityplumbinganddrain.com. Yeah. And it's neat to know that, like, the owner is the one actually answering these. This isn't shut off to some department that has a follow-up system, and you're the one in there. You're the one answering at night, during the day, in the morning, and making sure people get the response to get booked and scheduled. Then they call you, or you call them back, or they can call in too, I guess. Right. And you have the discussion. You schedule time to go out and visit them at their home or their business, typically.
Absolutely.
And kind of give them an overview, and then kind of give an estimate on the spot.
Yeah. And we'll give them the price on the spot. And if it's something we can do right then and there, if they approve it, we'll do it right then. If it's something that requires a permit or something, like if we got to call dig right, we schedule it as quick as we can. So it just depends. Typically, the permit we can do the next day. If it's something with dig right, it depends on if it's an emergency, because dig right, you can get those done fairly quickly. But if it's not an emergency, it takes a couple days just because you have to wait for dig right.
Right.
If it's special.
Yeah, I didn't realize dig right. That's important, because you start digging in your backyard, you start poking around, and now you got a lot bigger expense. And insurance isn't covering that if you accidentally.
No. You always want to call dig right. Always call dig right before digging.
Okay. And licensing, as far as getting permits. Better process for you. The average person is going to go, who do I talk to? And I got to fill out the paperwork. But you do permits all day long, every day.
Yeah, no issues on there. And most permits you get back within a day. If it's something that's a major renovation or remodel, that's obviously going to take longer because the city has to approve it. But so if you're wanting to redo your kitchen or your bathroom, don't expect to call today and start tomorrow, because that's you're not getting a permit back that fast.
Okay. But these are all plans that have to be outlaid, and you guys help people to do those and know exactly what the process is and can make sure these things go through. If the city says, oh, wait, we have a question, or we can't approve it this way, you'll go ahead and help modify that.
Exactly.
So that the expert, that the home builder doesn't have to be in the middle of that mix.
Right. No, we'll make sure that, and we can typically tell, if the county or the city is going to approve by what you're drawing or what your permits are, and we'll tell you ahead of time, no, that's not going to work, or that will work, to where we can get it, kind of pushed through a little bit quicker.
Well, then tell me, I guess a lot of people, they're interested in the work. What's the biggest question people have before they get started? Is it always price, or what is their biggest concern that you often deal with?
Price, how soon can you start, and if we offer a warranty.
Okay.
And we do all the above. So.
Okay. Tell me about the warranty process and how that works.
Typically, on our work, we stand behind all of our work. On labor, it's 1 year. If we supply the fixture, it would be whatever the manufacturer offers on this fixture. So, like, say the fixture comes with a 1-year warranty. Of course, whatever the manufacturer warranty is, we stand behind that. And then our labor warranty is 1 year. Now, if you supply your own fixture, then you would handle the warranty issue on that fixture.
Okay. By your own the fixture, you mean the faucet or the?
Yeah, like example, if we supply the faucet, we handle the warranty issue on that, sir. But if you supply your own faucet, then and if the faucet fails or has a warranty issue, you need to get the faucet, and then we'll come back but we stand behind our workmanship, of course, still. So.
And somebody has a specific faucet in mind, you'll give them a selection. You've got a connection, and you'll buy the stuff for them, or how do they go through you if they want to have you?
We recommend the Moen brand just because they're built good, their price is reasonable, and they're just very good quality. So we can show them, they can pick out whatever Moen, and then we can supply it, and obviously they get the better warranty on it. Or if they want to save a couple bucks and get the faucet themselves, but if the faucet fails, then they got to go through warranty and Moen in order to get another faucet or a portion of it. So.
Okay. But you help them with all that process and getting the right materials. Moen, we've all heard that name for a long time.
Absolutely.
And you trust them, and they've got good quality workmanship and product. Very important. Well, then tell me, what do you get the most satisfaction out of doing your work? I mean, obviously you're helping families with their home and the most important place they own. What do you enjoy most about it?
Mm-hmm. Seeing, I guess, the process from start to finish, and I like seeing the finished fixtures, the finished photos of what we've done, and just knowing, like seeing our reviews that people are happy with our service. Or the best is when someone thinks enough of us to refer us to their family and friends. So, like if we did service for you and you thought enough of me to refer me to your family and friend, that's the most satisfying for me, is that you thought enough to give our name out to someone else.
Yeah, that's says a lot right there. We talked about the reviews first. Show 73, everybody, a 4.8. It's hard to not get great service from you. I mean, and I can only imagine probably a couple times you some misunderstanding, but that's 1 out of 50 or so that you had. That's pretty good odds you're going to get great service here. Obviously, 99.9%. Everybody's super happy, and I would imagine, like I said, I had once somebody give me a bad review. I didn't even talk to this guy. Sometimes the reviews get out of whack of some people.
Yeah, we have one that we never even talked to the person, and unfortunately, Google, you have a hard time fighting to get that off of there, but it's going to happen. So. Yeah,
in a perfect world. You wonder about those guys who have 5.0. How did they get that? But keep up the good work. Well, then, what do you feel like you do most to contribute to the community? What do you enjoy most about that? What you do?
I don't know. I guess just, I don't know. I enjoyed when our kids were in school, working with the school and with the kids, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're doing a great community service. Help people to stay out of problems, because you get, like I said, it's inevitable. It seems you're going to have some kind of problem with your plumbing. Might as well get the experts. Authority Plumbing and Drain, everybody. We appreciate you staying here for 2 full half hours. Watch these interviews. If you missed them live on television, watch them on our YouTube channel, and you can get the whole interview. We're going to cut these up into clips and show you some of the highlights there too. But stay tuned for more, everybody. Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.